Hey guys, I'm Gabby and I'm driving home and I'm inspired, so I decided to record this video again. I'm being very safe. I'm looking forward and have both hands on the wheel, so just a quick disclaimer there. But I just want to make this video because this happens to me a lot, where I get a great idea for a video and then within seconds I just talk myself out of it. So I decided to record this video before these thoughts get out of my head without coming out of my mouth. Does that make sense? So today I wanted to talk to you guys about this very, very scary word. Most of us don't even have the guts to say it out loud, but you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. The word that I want to talk to you guys about is the word therapy. That's right. Today I want to talk about therapy. There, I said it. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about it because I just realized I used to feel this this crazy feeling towards this word and this term and the idea of therapy. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels that way, but I really want to put it out in the open because I feel like that is the best reason to get over our stigmas and our misconceptions about things that are really important, such as therapy. I have suffered from depression for many, many years, probably 15, maybe even more than that, and the truth is I don't know when it started, because for a long, long time I never treated my depression, unfortunately. So I can't even tell when it started. But the first time I realized there was something off and I decided to go to therapy for it was a long time ago when I was a junior in high school. And back then I never told anybody I went to therapy. Not even my best friends knew I was going to therapy at the time. It was literally only my closest family members, maybe 3 people max in my family, knew that I went to therapy back then. And to be honest, I was just terrified that I would be judged, that my friends would think I was crazy, that people would talk about me if they knew I was going to therapy. So back then, unfortunately, I had some issues with my health insurance and I wasn't able to keep going to therapy. And obviously that's very unfortunate because it definitely didn't help my depression to stop going to therapy. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I decided to start therapy again and really take my treatment seriously. But just like the first time, I didn't tell anybody. It's crazy, but most people in my life didn't know I went to therapy. Very few of my family members knew. Obviously my then boyfriend, who's now my husband, he knew, but most of my friends didn't know. I had my sessions scheduled once a week, and it's crazy because I would always tell people that I had a doctor's appointment, and I never said I have therapy that day, or I have, my therapy session is scheduled at that time, which is crazy. But again, for a long time, I was still terrified that people would judge me. At the time, I was working a job that I very much loved, which was being a nanny, but I was terrified that the parents of the children would find out that I went to therapy, because I was scared that they would judge me and they would think that maybe there's something wrong with me and I couldn't take care of their children anymore, which was not the case. But the truth is, I never shared with them that I went to therapy because, again, I was scared of being judged or being labeled, or that they wouldn't feel safe leaving their children with me. I realize a lot of times we are just terrified of being judged or being labeled crazy or oh my God, people are gonna think there's something wrong with me, that I'm insane. So when I would tell people, oh, I have a doctor's appointment, or I'm coming back from a doctor's appointment, it really makes me think that I never had a problem with people thinking that I was going somewhere to take care of my physical health, but God forbid if people thought that I was going somewhere to take care of my mental health. Nobody could know. And if you think about it that way, it's really crazy. It's completely insane to not be able to admit that you go to therapy, or be afraid of admitting that all you're doing is just taking care of your mental health. That's it. It's just like a doctor's appointment. It's just like going to the gym. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. And I really wanted to record this video right now, because what made me realize this and how big of a deal it was is the fact that I just left my therapist's office right now. So I just finished my therapy session, and my husband had texted me, and I just realized that for the first time I replied to him, hey, sorry I didn't get back to you earlier. I was in therapy. And he has obviously known for years that I go to therapy, but I just realized that for some reason, every time I was in therapy, you know, sometimes I would tell him I'm going to a doctor's appointment, or I'm, you know, at the doctor's, and I never said the words, I'm going to therapy, or I'm just getting out of therapy. Just admitting that, hey, you know what, for the last hour, I was out of reach because I was in therapy. And I just realized that. And it's crazy to me how, even for myself, like, I couldn't even say it out loud to the person I love the most, who knows I go to therapy. But I just realized that up until right now, I had never said those words. I had never texted him those words. And it's pretty crazy that I didn't. I really think that comes from my own prejudice against myself. And that's why I couldn't admit out loud that I went to therapy. A lot of us have this misconception about what it means to go to therapy, what it means to be in therapy. And to be honest, a lot of us have some level of judgment of people who are in therapy, who go to therapy. And that's why when it's our turn, we are scared to admit to people that we go to therapy. And I realized that's exactly how I felt and what I thought. And so I really don't want to be that way anymore, because it's very unhealthy and it's unfair to judge people for wanting to take good care of their mental health. So I'm here to tell you that if you're in therapy, you're a rock star. And you should own it. Obviously, it is up to you whether you want to share that with people or not. That's perfectly fine. But I really ask you to think about how you genuinely feel about going to therapy in your heart, and try to not judge yourself for it. Try to not judge others for it. And realize that what you're doing for your health is a great thing, and there's no reason to ever be ashamed to go to therapy. And that's really how I feel. For the first time, probably ever, I realized that I'm not ashamed of going to therapy. I can safely say I'm proud of myself for taking the steps to take good care of my mental health. And if you are going to therapy, or if you know somebody who is in therapy, don't judge yourself and don't judge them. That's all they're doing. They're just taking care of their mental health, and as they should, as we all should. When you tell someone you go to therapy, there might be some judgment there. People still might judge you. And unfortunately, that is still the world that we live in, because there's a lot of misconception and a lot of prejudice against people who do have mental health issues, or even people who just want to take better care of their mental health. It's very unfortunate. I am hopeful that there will be a day when we as a society will grow out of that. I do have faith that there will be a time when we won't judge others for their mental illness, and especially not judge others for simply wanting to take better care of themselves, including their mental health. I wholeheartedly believe that there will be a time, hopefully in my lifetime and yours as well, that we are going to treat going to therapy just like going to the gym. That when we say, I go to therapy, it's not going to feel weird or wrong or shameful. It's going to feel like saying, you know what, I work out. I take care of my body. That's all you're doing. You're taking care of your mind. I really, really believe that we will get there someday. So that's why I wanted to share with you guys this little mini epiphany I had in my head today. I think it's really important to realize that there's no shame in going to therapy. And I realized that I'm no longer ashamed, and I'm no longer scared to say the words, I go to therapy. I'm proud of myself for doing so, and if you also go to therapy, you should be very proud of yourself as well. Thank you so much for watching once again. I love to hear you guys' comments, so please leave your comments below or find me on social media. You're welcome to follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Please like my Facebook page, and you're welcome to read my blog on medium.com. You're also welcome to read my contributor page on themighty.com. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.